these lines? There's lines here on my shirt. There's lines right there on the couch. And also right here, there are lines on the shoes. Did you know that artists use lines in their pictures? They use thick lines and they use thin lines. Now let's go see if we can find some thin and thick lines in their pictures. Come on. Now look what I found. I found a painting that has an example of thick lines. See how the red lines are the thick lines? This is an American flag. Very patriotic, don't you think? Here is another example of the painting of thick lines. See how the trees are the thick lines? This is very nice. An example of a thin line. See how there are thin lines here in the painting? Thin lines here are supposed to be rain. My second example is I have a city scene. See how you see thin lines in the hockey stick? And then also back here in the buildings and on top of the buildings. Now that we know the two different types of lines, thick lines and thin lines, what are the lines used for? One, they're used to outline an object. And second, they're used to create movement in the picture. Let's go look at some examples. Wow, look what I found. I found a Goofy picture. Everybody likes Goofy, especially me. See how the lines here in his hand outline his hand and also in his golf club? This is a great example on how a line outlines an object. Wow, look at this painting. There are lines all over the place. Lines that go up and down and around. This painting has lines that create movement. Now that we have discussed the types of lines that we have, let's see what kind of detectives you are. Do you remember what type of lines were used in this painting? If you said thick, you were correct. What types of lines were used in this painting? If you said thin, you were correct again. Do we all remember Goofy? Good. We talked about thin lines and thick lines. Now, what are those lines used for? Remember what the line was used for in this one? If you said outline, you were correct. Do you remember this painting? I sure do, because it's a very silly painting. Remember what the lines were used for in this one? If you said movement, you are correct. I like being a line detective. Now that I've shown you how to be a line detective, you can go out and look for lines everywhere.